Good. How are you guys?
Pretty good. Can't complain, you know?
Excellent. Same here.
It is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Are we in your studio?
You are. Do you want me to give you a little, can I turn the camera around? So I've got my little desk here. This is a multifunctional space. It works as my home office and my studio.
They're the best kind.
Yeah. So I've got some art on the go at the moment. So
Love it.
always fun. Yeah.
That's always nice.
It is. Yeah. When it
Yeah.
starts to get full. Yeah.
I feel like it's easier to feel good about making when you're also like have a bunch on
Yeah.
the go and like be surrounded by things and
Totally.
see the production.
It feels like you are more accomplished than just like one piece you're working on, which
Yeah.
is good. Yeah. Totally.
It's a morale booster.
It is.
Yeah.
It really is. It builds your self-esteem. Like, oh yeah, I did some stuff this year. You know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, we're so happy to see your face and to have you join us. I know that we've it's not been a super long time since we've had an internet chat, but you know, it's been a few months.
Yeah, it has.
Mhm.
It has.
Pandemic time.
I know. I was just about to say, within the time warp, who really knows?
Yeah, I know. I feel like it's been this year, this
Yeah.
long
Totally.
year.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
not going to dwell on that.
No. Yeah.
Yeah, we're so happy to have you. So thanks
Thank
for
you.
taking the time and
Thanks for inviting me on. This is fun. This is my first Instagram live, so it's
Is
not
it
so
really?
hard. Yeah.
oh, I'm kind of surprised by that actually.
Yeah. I've had some avoidance energy around Instagram lives for some reason, but they're not scary. They're fun.
They're not. Well, I'm realizing that I have hair shoved into where my microphone is. Well, I mean, we're pretty relaxed, as you can see.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's pretty chill vibe that we want this to
Pretty
have.
informal, I think, is the word you want to use.
Sure.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's great.
And just so that
Let me see
there's
if
some
I can
background.
prop my. Yeah, I'm just gonna see if I can prop my phone up while you're talking, because my hand is going to get tired.
Yes, it will.
Yeah.
So yeah, essentially after the first maybe month or so, I don't even know if it was that long. But yeah, into being totally shut down, we were chatting with our friend Josh Dannon, who runs Directangle Press in the States. And yeah, we were just kind of both of us were sort of trying to figure out what does this mean? What's going to happen? What's the plan? And we were like, oh, we should do something together. And I was like, oh, let's just do an Instagram live and we'll go through our flat files. And he was like, oh, I don't really love being on the internet, but that's not a terrible idea. And I was like, well, I'm just going to post that we're doing it, and then you'll be sort of locked in because
Right.
I'll
Accountability. Yeah.
I'll have just told the world that you're doing it.
Yeah.
And then we did it, and it was really
was good.
lovely. And
We've
yeah,
been doing
it
it
was,
ever since.
so
Cool.
we've had a lot of people here, and we do have a lot of random pieces of art, although we are getting kind of to the
We're running
end
out of art.
of our collection.
I bet. Yeah.
So we are just it's been fun to kind of look back and share the work that we have, but we've also been kind of investing in other small pieces based on other people's shares, which has been also really enjoyable.
That's cool.
Yeah. So that's kind of the premise of what the little show is about. And we would love for you to introduce yourself and give us a little background on your practice and who you are and all that stuff. I mean, we know, but
Yeah, totally. So I'm Emily Pittman. You already said that. And I am an artist. I'm a painter, and I work with collage and installation work. And I also co-founded the Gathered Gallery with my partner, Natalie Field, who couldn't be here today, but is excited to have this opportunity as well. So I'm here in St. John's, Newfoundland. So it's It's not snowy here yet, but parts of the island are. We're on the very east point of the country and the island. So, yeah. So I've been practicing professionally for about 4 or 5 years. So I'm still pretty fresh, I would say, but I'm starting to find my voice, and I've had a busy few years, which has been really great and really exciting. And then with the Gathered Gallery, we do a ton of stuff over there. We write about artists, we share their work, we do workshops for professional development. We have a digital residency. We have a resident there now, actually, for the month of November, and lots of cool stuff over there. So yeah, that's kind of what keeps me busy. I'm also an arts educator as well, but yeah.
So many good things. I mean,
so many things.
Fall down a rabbit hole of just talking about all of that.
Totally.
And maybe that will be something we should do someday.
Yeah.
Because it would be like lovely to just like pick your brain and have a chat. Because the Gathered Gallery is such a like beautiful project that you guys have been working on for some time now. It's
totally our passion project. We love it so much, and we get so much out of it. Like it's just a win-win. Like we get to support artists, and then we get so much back. So it's a great little community. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like we can relate with you on that.
Yeah, definitely.
There's a lot of parallels there.
Totally. Yeah.
So
cool.
What normally happens is we will invite you to select who gets to go first, and either you or us will share a piece of work, and then the next share will be whoever didn't share the last time. So we'll kind of go back
and forth.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I'll let you guys,
begin.
Yeah.
Okay. Who do we have on top?
It's far away.
Okay, this is our first share.
I'm trying to make the lighting better.
So something that we've kind of come to realize is that because a lot of the work that we have, people were here sometimes many years ago, like this particular piece, and their practice has completely shifted. So it's been kind of interesting, like re-looking into what people are up to. So this is Jennifer Globush, or Globush. I don't know how to say your name, Jennifer, is what I'm realizing. I don't know how to say anybody's names. I think I'm going to start doing a thing where I just don't say people's last names. That's going to be a new rule.
This is Jen's artwork?
This is Jen's artwork. And I think that Jennifer was with us in late 2016 or early 2017. So it's an older piece. It is, I'm probably going to have Kyle explain kind of the process, but just to give you a little bit of a history, she lives in Northern Ontario in a pretty like industrial mining area, and that's kind of been the life that she's known for a really long time. And so her practice kind of centers around like living in the north, humans and nature and their relationships, whether that's positive or negative with each other. And then this idea of just kind of like a hard-working kind of labor class. Right now she's working on a series of like stunning drawings. And they're, if I'm correct, they are about frontline worker firefighters that are kind of just throwing themselves into a really dangerous and scary place on a regular basis, but protecting the forestry and protecting the communities in those places. So her work is really beautiful, and it is, if I am correct in like, this is what happens is I start looking up too many people, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, I hope I'm not confusing. But yeah, just sort of looking at the people and the place where she's from, and thinking about labor and time and dedication and nature and human impact. So yeah, do you want to talk a little bit about like what this actually is?
So this is a relief print. and it is the same block that has been printed each single time. So I think there's like 8, 9, 10 different printings. So she would ink up the one block, print it, ink it up again, print it again, then print it again, and print it again, and print it again. What I find really interesting about this work is like I'm very much so attracted to patterns, and I'm attracted to symmetry and repetition. And something that I find really interesting about her work in the series that she did while she was here is that it has these things, but it's not like a computer generated pattern. So like there's an inconsistency between like the spacing here and the spacing here and the spacing here and the spacing here. And I think that's something that like over the course of my own practice, I have like come to really like, I guess, identify with, is this idea of being able to repeat something and duplicate it, but it also has that human element where there is a discrepancy between each of these spaces. And I think younger Kyle would have seen this kind of stuff as a negative. But current Kyle loves when this kind of happens, when there is like a symmetry, but it's not that rigid, hard, it has to be perfect symmetry.
It creates more of a rhythm than a...
Yeah. I think it's also, you know, this inking up of a sort of scrap piece of wood and then just dedicating this much time to trying to make something beautiful with it is talking to that concept of just like labor and, you know, sticking with something, watching it all the way through. Even though this is strikingly different than some of the other work that she's done or that she's doing, I would say that the concept behind it is very similar. This just happens to be like a very abstract way of looking at time, looking at repetition, looking at dedication, and looking at labor. Because printmaking is laborious.
What? Is it?
It is.
Oh, that's so funny. Yeah. That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
It's a lovely, striking piece. I like it a lot.
And that's our for share.
Ooh. Okay, well, can I just check the name?
Oh no, internet's.
Well, she'll come back.
The joys of live streaming. Sometimes you lose people.
They come back, though.
Yeah. Hopefully everybody's well. I do really like this work. Like seeing it, it just picks up really nicely. It looks really good. Oh.
Yep, here she is.
And crack.
Hello, sorry about
that.
Lost you. Okay, so the first piece that I have to show. Okay, maybe I'll just prop it up against the wall.
Perfect.
I have a little dog, so there's dog toys everywhere. I'll get rid of that.
Oh, sweet.
Okay, so this is a painting by Daniel Rumbolt, and it's called The Last Few Nights. And I absolutely love this piece. So I don't know if you can see the colors, but it's kind of like a very pale pink background with some white washed over it and some beautiful cobalt blue and teals. And then he's also got a photo transfer. So this fire is actually added to the painting with a photo transfer, which is really fun. And he's also done some more graphic drawing elements in it as well. Yeah, so I like how there is a lot of asymmetry. I really love asymmetry. And yeah, as I was listening to you talk about the other one, I was like, ooh, yeah. No, I love asymmetry, and I love how it's kind of built up in these layers. We've got some drawings that are kind of covered up in this like misty fog, and then we've got the brush strokes that are sitting on top, like these little graphic lines down here. And most of Daniel's work, I'm familiar with his practice as a whole. He loves to explore memory and the things that have been lost or like moments frozen in time. So that is kind of what he's exploring with this work. And like it's a fire pit that is behind his childhood home in St. Anthony, Newfoundland and Labrador. It's very, very far north on the island. And to me, it feels so light and heavy at the same time. Like the title is so heavy and the brushstrokes are so happy. It feels like there's so much mixed emotion in this painting, which really, like, I love it.
Yeah, there's a lot of movement too, which I really like.
Totally. It's like a swirl. Like it's kind of like you're caught up in a swirl of something, whether it's thoughts or color, you know, literal and metaphorical.
Energy. I like that a lot too.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think you like this. There's a lot of there's similarities between Chrissy's painting style and this work.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So what are the things that are similar?
Right? Like
yeah, it is. Like this is my hand, if you can see.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, the things are like, you know, there's like some motifs like the kind of pill-shaped marks, the brown and like kind of lighter green.
Yeah,
teals.
that's actually a really fun metallic gold. If you can see that
cool.
they're.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But like Chrissy does a similar kind of mark. It is not as like uniform as this one.
No.
But also like those vertical tick marks. That's something that you do. But his kind of speak more like the stumps of trees.
Yeah, it feels like a landscape.
Chrissy's don't have any symbology in that regard.
Right.
No. But I like how this feels kind of like, I see what you're saying. Like it does feel positive in the color choices, but it sort of feels like a desolate landscape. Like it's kind of empty and a little, I don't know, sad. And
the trees are sparse and the fire is in grayscale, so there isn't really any warmth to it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I like that. The absence of warmth through grayscale.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really fun element.
That's a really nice piece. I like that.
Yeah, so Daniel's work is similar to this now, but he works in a ton of different media, sculpture, textile, and everything. But the motifs continue throughout his current work, and so are memory, the idea of memory and loss, and that kind of thing. Yeah.
Cool.
That's nice.
I think this was 2, maybe 3 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
He's still on the East Coast?
Yes, he lives in St. John's.
Okay.
Yeah. He is actually the director of our artist-run gallery here in St. John's, Artist-Run Center, Eastern Edge Gallery. So he's an all-around superstar.
Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I haven't made it that far east yet.
Oh, you guys should come.
Okay.
It's actually bumping over here. Yeah.
You're selling the East Coast.
I will always sell the East Coast. I've been trying. Natalie, for those who don't know, my partner Natalie is in Toronto, and I love Toronto, but I'm always selling her the East Coast. So it hasn't worked yet, but there's still time.
You're like, the East Coast isn't going anywhere.
No.
Anytime she wants.
Totally. There's no expiry date. So.
No, the East Coast has been like our next vacation trip, like not business, but actually pleasure. That's been like, we would like to do that when the pandemic ends.
Yeah. Although you can't get in because we have a little bubble, but the Atlantic Canada is doing pretty good. I have to say, it's a little bit of relief, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. Much better than we
Central
are
Canada?
Here.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Oh,
Not so great.
Yeah.
Can we do Shelley's next? And we'll save that one.
Okay,
there's a really super good chance that these two are not going to be visible at all, but I've had them on I want to show these for a long time. Not only will they be backwards because it's all text, but it's also transparent base on
I can
paper.
see it there for a second.
Okay,
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah.
Okay, so this, again, this artist, this is Shelley Harrison.
And we turn off lights until we get there.
There we go.
And Shelley does not, I don't know. It's possible that Shelley does still do some screen print work, but from what I know, she hasn't been working in this medium for quite some time. But when Shelley was here, she was doing a lot of different things, collage, and some different types of printmaking, but I really fell in love with these word like text pieces that are screen printed. So this one says, "I do not want to entertain you tonight." And it is like a cream paper.
Right.
And then the text is printed in a transparent base. So it's
so hard to make white
like,
show up.
it actually looks more white on the screen than it does in real life. Like, it is really just like a clear. So for those that don't know what transparent base is, at our shop we work with like, you can hand mix all of your own colors in the printmaking studio, and you're either mixing pigments into a clear base or you're mixing them into an opaque white base. And so what Shelley did was, instead of putting any pigment into the base at all, it was just the transparent base printed directly through the screen onto the paper. So it's actually like a completely clear ink, but it still creates, obviously, a mark on the paper that you
creates a bit of like a semi-gloss sheen to it.
Like, so are we seeing the shine instead of the pigment?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That's why it's so hard to pick up.
Yeah.
But I love, you know, it's kind of this thought that you want, that you're keeping to yourself. So it's sort of like,
here.
It's like a secret hidden in the paper, which I really love.
Like invisible ink, you know? Ooh, yeah,
one,
that one's more. You can see that one a little bit more.
It's so wild seeing it there, because here it looks even, you can't see it at all.
Right.
Read it on here. So this one is the same. It's transparent pigment. I shouldn't even say pigment. Transparent ink onto black paper, and it says, "I walked into a new room and nobody noticed me there." So, you know, just these, like, they're not like overly like graphic or embarrassing thoughts, but just those like kind of subtle things that you might think to yourself and feel a little bit embarrassed about or uncomfortable with, hidden in these large text blocks on this paper. And I've always really loved these works. They're impossible to display because they have to be basically in like museum frames, so that there's no glare on them at all, so you can actually see what's written. But yeah, I don't know. I like the idea of like these quiet, hidden messages. Even though like it's so loud, it takes up like a giant amount of the paper. It's not like, you know, this little notion. Oh, Christine, I love these too. How are these shown?
Christine asks, how are these shown? Are they visible when hung on the wall? And yes, when you like can get gallery lighting to hit it correctly, they show up. As you can kind of see them showing up in our Instagram live. But like in my house, I don't have gallery lighting. I have very poor 1920s farmhouse lighting.
Like, you can see it. You know, I can read this one, the one that's on the cream paper, but it is very subtle. Yeah, the cream paper you can see better than the black paper, but it looks like we really put empty pieces of paper behind
it does.
But you know, they're lovely screen prints, and I just really liked this work a lot. We have a few others from this series that are a bit more legible, but Shelley Harrison, and Shelley was a musician, could still be a musician. I'm not sure if she's still, her Instagram has gone completely not non-linear, so I don't know exactly what Shelley's up to these days. She was a musician, so I think that like the words and lyrics are meaningful for every day, which, you know, really resonated well in this particular
She's also doing
project.
a crazy amount of collage while she was here.
Yeah, like a lot of collage.
Super lovely to have her. She's from the LA area.
Yeah.
Very different vibe than us Canadians.
I loved it. Yeah.
That's awesome.
So.
Oh.
It's so funny seeing them.
If anyone tuned in right now.
They'd be like, cool. They're talking about paper quality.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, it is nice paper.
It did seem like nice paper, yeah. I feel like if if you're making work like that, it has to be good paper because the paper is your medium in a way, right?
Yeah, totally.
Totally.
Speaking some volumes because it's holding a lot for the actual content. Yeah, so that's our second share.
Okay. So for my second share, I dug this one out of the archives. Let me see. There's a hair on it.
Pick that up.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
okay. There's like some little particles stuck to this as well. So I understand.
Okay. So this one, I actually did not tell her I was doing this. But this one is a throwback Natalie Field.
I was trying to find one of Natalie's prints that I have here from when she was our student, but I think it's outside of the print shop, so I didn't get my hands on it.
Yeah, so I knew I had one, and this was probably 2015 or 2016. And it's so simple. Like I just was like, give it to me as soon as she made it. It's so simple, but well, first of all, it's a beautiful like burgundy color. It's not a neutral. It's actually a burgundy, which I love. One of my favorite colors. And it's just, I can't remember if it was paper or mylar. I think it might be mylar, but like a square sheet with just a single fold and then printed. Used as the plate in a way. And
nice.
I just think that it's so simple but so dynamic.
Yeah.
And I love it.
No, it's super successful. I get really angry at people who can do this kind of stuff.
I know. Yeah.
It's like, it's very, very successful. Like, and when you say like, you know, like I was thinking like, how did she do it? Is it like a woodcut? Is it like matrix? Is it a screen print? Well, how's she getting that fade? What is it? Is it like a litho? Is it like, was it a monoprint? And it's like, no, just a sheet of paper that we inked up through the press. And you're like, damn it.
I know. I know.
It's an envelope.
It kind of does look like an envelope. It has many possibilities. Mm-hmm. I think that it looks like, like something foldable, like something could be under there. It also kind of looks like some kind of letter, letter of the alphabet to me, like the letter N. I kind of see, like I don't know. It just keeps on talking to me the more that I look at it.
Yeah, I also
which I love.
Its positioning, so it has direction even though it's just so flat. For some reason, it's making me think of like Space Odyssey. What was that like monolith thing that was just like
2001: A Space Odyssey?
Yeah, that like imposing shape.
Yeah.
It for some reason, I know that this doesn't actually read that way, but for some reason that's like it feels like something that would be like on a computer screen, like spinning around. I don't know, feels
the floating. It does feel digital to me. I think it's the crispness also, like the crispness of the lines. And like, because like you said that it's on an angle, like we're getting some perspective, right? Like, because this is bigger and then that's receding and it's on that angle, like it's like whoosh, like it's just kind of pushing it back, which I love. Like like you're right, it looks like it could want to spin like this way towards us.
Exactly. That's a good one. It's so small.
I know. It's so, and she did a ton of these. So they were in, like, she had a whole grid just of these, all in different shapes, the different folds. So when you saw them all together, they almost looked like they were dancing, or like there was some kind of, like, pattern or rhythm as you kind of looked through the grid. It was like they all were playing off of each other, which was really fun. Yeah,
I think it would change the context of it, because like looking at not just this one but the other ones, because like I think my first intuition was it looks like a letter, it looks like a graphic representation of an envelope, but in context with like 20 or 30 other ones, I think it would lose that representation.
Yeah, totally.
Well, I mean, if Christine's still on here, last week she shared a piece that was a collection of stills from a movie where the wind was sort of sweeping these leaves off of a tree. And I feel like if this was put together with a bunch, even if they were sort of just the same piece of paper printed over again, like there would be some like degrading, I would assume, to like the quality
Right.
of the image, because the paper is only gonna, even if it's Mylar, it's only gonna hold up for so long. And together, then all of a sudden, like when I see it in my mind, I feel like it becomes like a storyboard to me of like the movement of whatever this shape is.
Kind of like an animation.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Especially
stills
because
of an
its
animation.
scale.
Yeah, definitely.
That's
And it has a kind
good.
of quickness and decisiveness to it. So it's like, okay, you know, just make it, move on, and then they all come together into a bigger thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
That was a good body of work.
that is a good body of work. Oh, Natalie.
All right.
Yes, so Natalie was a student of ours when Kyle and I were teaching at Loyalist, and then she, you
That
know,
is so fun.
Convinced her to go to university.
yeah, and look,
Not that she was already planning on going there, but the narrative I will hold is that
You were the change makers. I love it.
we were.
No, she was always like clearly a student that was like just like we taught a foundations program, which was at a college level, and like she was, when she was in that program, it was like you just need to move on to the next place. Like you're going to go someplace, and it's like really fun and interesting to see somebody who was a student go off and do something and then come back and then have a gathered gallery. She has a whole practice.
Yeah,
She's like
totally.
super proud.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. It was
Is this
fun.
recorded? Will she be able to watch this later? Because she will love to hear that.
But that's like when the two of you. So we had Emily and Natalie come and stay at the residency. Oh, when was that?
I think it was 2017. Yeah, it was definitely. I think it was 2017. It was our first. It was our first real residency after art school, which was super exciting.
It was really enjoyable, and to just like have that moment to hang out and chat with the two of you about, you know, this project that you've been developing, and we're like blossoming into something really interesting. Like you made a publication, you did a bunch of interviews while you were here.
Yeah.
You were only here for like a week, right?
We did so much that week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was really like lovely to get to just kind of catch up and see where she had taken her practice. And it's been
so
nice
fun.
to like stay in touch and watch everything that's been going on.
That is so great.
So our last piece is, I don't know who made it. I don't know where we got it. And it's very, very simple.
Cute.
But I just feel like, especially right now, as we all, I'm sure, are like constantly refreshing the U.S. election.
Did that about 6 times this morning.
Yeah.
Just haven't moved.
It doesn't change, I know.
I just wanted to like find something that was
light
and nice. I mean, I don't, not to just like be too simple.
But I think if we want to extrapolate on the concept of just be nice, like looking at like what's happening and just be nice. Just be nice down there, please.
Yeah. And it's like it's a pleasant message and a pleasant image. Like it's just very happy.
But I also love the choice to put a period. It's like, this isn't a conversation. This is a statement.
Yeah.
Like, just be nice.
This is not open-ended. Yeah, we're closing it.
We're not having a chat about this. I think also, like, looking at this, I've been trying to figure out exactly how this was done. I'm pretty sure it's a screen print on a very open mesh screen, and perhaps the lettering was painted on with like a screen filled, because if you get close, you can see the like edge around the letters. Can you see that? Mm-hmm. Like especially the B.
Yeah.
And also, I don't think this is going to show up in here, but there's like, you can't see it in that, but there's like a real texture in the printing, like where you can like, if you've been screen printing for a long time, there's like a specific type of texture when the mesh is more open, and you're printing like a large area of flat color. When the paper releases from the screen, sometimes you can see the mesh count of the screen on the paper, but you can also get that with like a relief print block sometimes as well. But it doesn't feel like a relief to me because there's no, I don't know. It feels like a screen print, but I could be wrong. Just the amount of ink that's on here and there's nothing filling in any of these letters makes me think it's not a relief print, but I could be incorrect. But no, I just like, I wish I knew where
judging by
we got this, and
I think it's a taped on stencil.
It's from, it feels like it, yeah.
For those people who are in the screen print land.
Yeah, what do you think? Can you tell? Anybody know who made this?
I don't know.
If you stayed with us and we're friends with you and we don't remember, we apologize, because there are things in our drawer that we haven't shown because I'm almost 100% certain this was a resident, but I have no memory of who, and I'm afraid to be on camera not knowing who we're talking about.
It's weird. You end up collecting like random things over the years, and sometimes they're attributed to people, and sometimes they're attributed to really messy signatures.
Yes.
This one has neither.
Yeah, this is not a signature at all. And it was wrapped in a way that doesn't feel like it was. It
was like in plastic with like cardboard. Like it felt like maybe it was like a purchase.
And like washi tape on the back.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
No clue where we got it.
But I feel like by doing this action of kind of going through our flat files, we seem to be attracted to prints that have text in them. Because we have an awful lot of prints with text.
Yeah.
And the messaging changes a lot, but for the most part, it's sort of these like vulnerable, sincere messages. And that might be because I would say the majority of our print collection is female. I would say like we really support mostly female artists.
100%.
So that could be why the messaging is, feels more like earnest, but that could also be me being biased and projecting my own shit onto art.
It's hard to know. Yeah.
Pretty possible.
Yeah.
but yeah, I don't know why we don't have this one up in the house, because it's very legible, and
it probably fits an IKEA frame too.
Yeah, it's just lovely. I
have some that need frames too, big time. Yeah.
I think we should all just consider this every day. Are we being nice? Could we be nice?
Yeah.
Is there an opportunity?
We're being told to be nice. Yeah.
Nice. It's like a mom, like.
Yeah. Be nice.
Be nice. Gosh.
Yeah. All right.
Or sometimes you have to be mean. I mean, really, I like this as a sentiment, but I don't know if I would live by it. I just feel like right now it's something that I'm trying to think in my head. Sometimes
being mean is being nice, though. In a way. I think about that when I'm teaching all the time. I read in a learning exercise when working with students that unclear is unkind. Sometimes being unclear, even though it feels nice in the moment, to be like, oh yeah, it's coming along, is actually unkind, right?
Yeah,
even though it feels mean in the moment to say this isn't working, it's actually nice to do that because they need it. So sometimes being nice is mean.
Tactful way to be mean, because the opposite is this disaster wreck of an artwork that you're making right now is not good.
There is totally tact.
That passiveness that it's coming along.
Yeah.
I can distinctly remember I think that I've heard that many times while working on art.
Yes. Totally, and I found myself doing it, but then every now and then I have to remind myself, unclear is unkind. Just be kind
as a message.
And be as clear as possible. Yeah, so maybe that's what the artist was going for. I don't know. Okay, this is number 3.
The joy of art, right? We can really put whatever
project anything
whatever we want onto this.
Yeah, maybe it's sarcastic, and they don't mean it at all.
Yeah, there could be a whole eye roll emoji attached.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. All right, so this one is mine. This is my little guy. Yeah, you can see where I plucked it off of the wall, right there. So now it's over here.
All right.
Yeah,
Describe
so
this to us.
this one is from the summer 2020, and it's for part of a series called What a View. So this is kind of the whole series. As you can see, I'm working with gradients as my, so before, this is one that I did a while ago, and I still work like this, but just to give a comparison, just with the flat background, right?
Yeah.
So I've started to use gradients to explore the space around a home. Like in this case, in this series, I'm exploring the idea of what makes a home more desirable, like an ocean view or a sunset view. So like this one is kind of yeah,
Zero
totally.
context, right? You were so cool.
Yeah.
Ocean, yeah. So and I've kind of used ambiguous colors that could be, especially this one, like this could be interpreted as ocean into sun or sky into sun, or you know, like to leave it a little bit ambiguous, but to give a little bit of a spatial context and dimension, which has been really fun. I like them.
I think the gradient's really successful.
Yeah.
I think that like you have these collage shapes which are clearly referencing like architecture, and some of that actually like references perspective and space.
Yes.
It's like the angle cuts on the staircase, like what looks to be on our right hand side with the little triangle space, like, you know, a room that juts out, like or a room that recedes. And I think that like the gradient gives you further ideas of like atmosphere. And I think that these are really successful.
Thank
Can
you.
Talk a little bit about like how you're applying the architectural elements,
Like how I literally glue them on.
and like what are they made out of?
Yeah. Okay, I love that question. Okay, so they're made out of paint chips. Can you see that there's a little paprika? Some of the paint chips are homemade. Like I have some to show you. I do my own paint chips where I paint paper and then cut. And then I also have a collection.
Do you just go to the hardware store and rate it every
Oh, I sure do. I sure
do.
do.
They hate you there?
I often bring like my sister or my partner, and I'm like, what color should we paint the kitchen?
You do a diversion tactic?
Yeah. I'm like, we did yellow last time. Maybe this time we do blue. And I take like 24 blue swatches. So, yeah. Only if they give me the side eye. Sometimes they don't care. Depends on where I go. But yeah. So yeah, I have quite a collection, and I have this fun organizer, and it's like a rainbow, which is really fun. And then I also love the print promo materials that they give.
Oh, yeah.
So sometimes I'll take little photo pieces from them and include them, although I haven't in this series. And then I also do some homemade gradients and cut them as well, which is really fun. Yeah, so that's the what, and then the how. I've done a ton of trial and error with different glues with varying successes. So this is the one that I'm using right now, which is going pretty well.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
I also have some. Let's see. What do I have?
Oh,
some spray on.
You love,
yeah.
You gotta love an aerosol inside a space.
Oh man.
Normal housing ventilation.
It's so funny because when all the pandemic started happening, everyone was trying to get their hands on N95 masks, and I was like, I have some of those, and everyone was like, they're like impossible to find. All the shelves are cleared out. I'm like, yeah, I know. I use a lot of smelly things in my house, so I have some. I don't like. Actually, I do. They're still here. I was gonna get them stolen, but they're a little bit like sawdusty because I also sand and all that sorts of fun stuff in here. So,
very nice.
Oh yeah. So I was using this for a while too, which is okay, but it doesn't do quite as much as I would love. So yeah, right now I'm using this glue, and then
is it on panel?
this. It's on panel. Yep, a little nice. 2-inch panels.
The gradients make me feel like it. We had Scott Everingham stay with us like a while back, and he was working in these like beautiful. I don't know if you know his work.
No, I'm gonna have to look it up.
Oh my gosh, it's so good.
Yeah.
But it's really different than yours. But he also had a lot of these backgrounds that were these like stunning gradients. And yeah, I just really loved the, like Kyle said, the like atmosphere that they give, because the space seems like both short and vast.
Right.
At the same time.
Totally. Yeah, I know. I love that too. And then I have this really fun table, which is, so the legs are from IKEA.
Yes, I recognize them.
And then I had the tabletop made. I bought the cutting mat first at a quilt shop. It's huge. And then I had the tabletop made, so that's my whole collage surface, which is really fun. So I can just cut them right on the table.
Perfect. Can you show some of the other pieces on the wall? I know that's like...
Totally. So these are paintings, and they're house paint, the background, and then oil on top.
Okay.
So they have some fun texture.
The sort of explosion of the home. Like, I don't know, they feel explodey to me for some reason.
Yeah. Technical terms. Yeah.
This one's kind of explodey, too.
Yeah, it just feels like they're breaking free. They're like, we don't want to be bound anymore.
I love this one, too.
Yeah. The colors are fantastic.
Thank you. Color is kind of my jam. So, and then I've got lots of these littles, and I'm going to make some more as well. Some little guys.
Yeah. But some are like a bit more referential of like a literal space, and then others are
yeah, it's true. Like I think this is one of the only ones that is straight on. Like the house is not on an angle.
Oh,
so like most of them, like the house is on an angle. But then I find when they're straight on, they give a different effect. And then I have a collage like that too. This little collage is straight on.
Yes.
Very, very different feeling.
Yep. Yeah. So I like to play around with that too.
Are they like referencing homes in your area? Because I know that like the East Coast is they have kind of like this quintessential, like the colors, I guess, are sort of making me feel like that.
Totally.
You know, when you drive through, I've only driven through like New Brunswick, but there was kind of like this colorful aesthetic with a lot of houses, especially like on the shoreline.
Yeah, definitely. So I started working with, Newfoundland actually has a registered heritage palette with the Heritage Foundation of Newfoundland and Labrador. So a couple years ago, I did a collaboration with them where I made a whole series of collages kind of interpreting their heritage structures with these new colors, with the original colors, but like in a new way. So I was using their bank of photos of documentation from all across the province. And so then the colors kind of just go like rooted into me. Like I can't not use them now. I'm obsessed with them. So anyway, the literal colors are here in this little, so these are the heritage colors. And I think do they have their names on them? Some of them do. Like this one's called Maize. Some of them have really cute names. Like signal red, like things that are significant to the province. And so, but I've obviously branched out.
Yeah.
And since then.
Big little jars full of color.
Oh, I have so many little jars, and then outside of this room, I have so many giant paint cans, and the light bulb is gone, so I can't turn on the light to show you. But yeah, I have like cans and cans and cans of paint.
I can relate to this.
So yeah,
I can really relate to this. Oh, yeah. I like this collection a lot. I think I shared a picture, and you were standing in a space where it looked like some of these architectural elements were suspended in space, like not.
Yeah.
They almost looked like they were like a plexiglass or something, but I don't know.
They were plywood, actually.
Oh.
They were plywood.
Why did they look?
Because they're so thin. Like they just look like they're skinny. So that work is hanging in PEI right now, which is really exciting. I made that series. That series is called Unsettled, and I made that in 2018, and then it's part of a group show in PEI right now, which is really fun.
That's awesome.
But this is a template from that show. It's foam core, not plywood.
Oh, nice.
And I kind of made a bunch of these maquettes before I made the real guys to test, like, because they have to have like an equilibrium in order to hang. So,
fair.
And they're different colors on each side, and the real one is like that too. The big ones.
Nice.
So
yeah, I really liked that.
So that's kind of more installation practice, and I have some more ideas for that in the future. So
Sweet.
Stay tuned. But I can't make those here. Like I need extra support.
My cutting mat.
Yeah. So as much as I would try, like you probably would tell already that I would try it, but no. So I need to I have to plan it, get some collaboration, and it's a bigger job than working on these fun little collages. So yeah, it's a balance.
We understand that.
Yeah.
A lot of the times our wood shop is outside in the driveway, and we have to bring all the equipment outside into the driveway and work on it there, because we turned what would be a good wood shop into a printmaking studio.
It's one or the other, I know.
Yeah. And cutting wood in a printmaking studio is not a great decision.
Thanks, Golden Ginger Studio. It is a very fun creative space. I love my little studio. It's like I said, it's multi-purpose. Oh, and one of my favorite things is so not glamorous, but I put down these foam tiles on the floor. And then you can see my slippers. So yeah, and it's so comfy, and it also protects my floor from being destroyed, because I'm a very messy worker. Although my work usually turns out clean, my process is very messy. And when I used to share a studio with Natalie, who's not a messy worker at all, oh, it was so bad.
That's like us. I'm a freaking disaster. If I brought the iPad down into the studio, which I won't do because it's filled with also this piles of seats that I've collected from outside, that I'm I will organize you so that I can put you next year.
Right. Totally.
It's just it's just chaos in my space. But
it's what you do.
Yeah, I love it. It makes me feel happy.
Totally.
If it's too orderly, then I'm
I can't work. I know.
Why is the cleanliness smothering me?
Yeah.
It's like asking me to defy it. And I refuse. I'm
I find when it's too clean, I can't work in it, because I'm I can't make a mess. I can't mess it up. So if it's baseline a little chaos, then I'm I'm fine.
Yeah.
So
I hear that. Yes.
Yeah.
Can totally relate.
Yeah. But now that it's a home office and things, it has to be Zoom presentable, and it's trickier, but it's all good.
That's why we do these in our office.
That's
I
nice.
paint in a different space. Leanne knows what I'm talking about. She's laughing at me, but because she knows. She's seen it. She knows.
Right.
She knows. That's awesome. It's also so nice to see how you organize things, and I love that part of, we don't enforce it as part of flat files, even though I'd be lying if there wasn't a secret part of me that would love to kind of strong arm people into sharing what their studios look like, and a little bit of,
that'll be next season.
Maybe that'll be next
season.
Studio.
That's fun.
But I think it's so nice to see how do you store all this stuff, and what does that look like, and what's important to you. Clearly having the colors separated so that they're easily accessible makes the process of making the collages easier and faster, which makes a lot of sense.
Makes a lot of sense.
It does, but
Yeah, that's true.
Awesome. Well, Thank you so much.
This is a lovely little visit.
Thank you for having me. This was fun.
Yeah.
This was very fun.
Well, we're hoping, after that we'll do a season 2. I think we're going to, wrap up Flat Files relatively soon. And then, figure out a season 2 option. So if you have any ideas, let us know, because right now we're pretty, open. Yeah, studio tours. See? Love it.
Yeah, I think studio tours
would be fun.
That sounds fun.
Yeah. Sweet.
All right.
Enjoy the day. I don't know what time it is there, but
it is 2:25.
Yeah. She's east.
2:25. How did we get half an hour?
Okay, this is also a really fun question. Newfoundland and Labrador. Well, actually, parts of Labrador. Some Labrador is in the other time zone, but we have our own time zone. We're the only place in the whole North America that is on the half hour. So when you actually are looking for time zone things, when you're setting up a computer or something, instead of being Eastern time, you actually have to find Newfoundland.
Weird. I did not know this.
Yeah. So we are unique. You have to just do that extra little bit of math every single time you have to do anything. But it's all good. Yeah.
You're it's just another checkbox in the pro column for me.
Yeah, I know. It's so true. Well, you just get a little bit of extra bonus time. Instead of doing this at lunch, I'm man, I don't have to do it until 1:30. That's nothing. So, yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. Well, we appreciate you coming post lunch to hang out with us and chat about art and share what you're working on. And yeah, it's been really nice chatting with you.
It's been so fun. Thank you for having me.
Have a great weekend. And
Bye.
thanks everyone for hanging out with us.